All right, so you got silver that's continuing to squeeze. I think it's hitting a bit of, I expect at least today to hit a bit of an intermediary top, come back down and then continue. It's very healthy stuff. Gold has been a little weaker, right? We've seen like red days when silver's green, so that's obviously not normal. I heard this interesting comment. I think it was Schiff saying that people are selling gold and covering by buying silver because they were doing the opposite trade the whole time. Obviously, central banks have just been buying gold, but people have been buying gold and as a hedge selling silver, and maybe they switch that. So I'm not as worried after hearing that. It kind of makes a little bit of sense, but I'm not generally not that worried with gold going down because I like my silver stocks going up, and if gold goes down, good. My long-term thesis is always to buy a decent dip. I mean, this is not a dip, you know. Here are my levels on gold. This is not really level. This it's just because of these lows down here. I'm just, you know, if we close below that, then definitely we go lower. And I don't just mean down to sort of 3250. This is my area. This is strong support if we get there, because at the moment we're holding sideways. And if we break out of this descending here, then obviously a close above 3,400 confirms it and goes straight to 3,500. So gold is for now sideways until it breaks out of either this long-term descending, right? This sort of long-term descending or this descending. That's really the key levels I'm looking at for gold. Until it breaks one of those, nothing really matters. I consider it sideways. But yeah, silver, let's go to silver real quick. Silver's just on fire. You know, ever since taking out 35, it's just not looked back. And I think this sort of 37.50, I have to zoom out. This is good news. This 37, Jesus, 50 is this top here, right? For me, I work on dailies, and honestly, it works better than all the other levels I hear people throw out there. And I think once you touch that, you can go back down to 35 and then you can go straight back up to 44. Not in one go, you'll have little stops, but I don't even see 40 as a level. I see sort of 42 maybe and then 44. But for now, this sort of 37.50, you know, where we are here, we can hit that. Maybe we go back down. Obviously, maybe cover all angles, but that we go back down if gold starts to flush. And I don't see that as unhealthy or a long-term trend change, but I do see this as a bit of a level because this has been pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, otherwise, long term, we're just going up, 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 40 plus. So I love it. Now, the miners, normally I cover DXY, but can't be bothered today. And to be honest, DXY, the dollar, if we flush that 98, it's done. And so far, actually, let me just show you real quick. DXY gone. DXY is just sort of holding down here. I think that's weak. You know, if we were supposed to have a bounce, it should be really any moment now. This week for sure. Otherwise, we're just going to go sideways down. And if we go sideways down, then up, up in everything, all commodities, right? It's not just gold and silver. As you probably have already seen, we've also been going up high with platinum. Look at these levels. This one's been taken out. Next one I see all the way up here, 1,270, and then up here. That's beautiful. That's like extra confirmation to silver, palladium also, even copper and all that. I mean, uranium, don't know if you've seen that. I'm in that. That's beautiful. So commodities are doing well. So if DXY flushes that 98 level, I expect all commodities, obviously including the metals, to go up. Now, GDX, I was expecting a bit of a gap close after, especially after this horrible candle. But yesterday we sort of went sideways, which was interesting with gold not doing much. So yeah, new levels there. Let's see. GDX, yeah, 55. You close above 55 onwards and upwards. GDX is probably the weakest out of all of them, just because of it's holding gold most. SIL just hovering sideways at the absolute high. If we have that's strong. That's real strong. 50. Imagine a close above 50. The psychological and technical level that is, that will just scream up. And to be honest, the miners have been helping the metals. So you could have the miners leading, which we've had, and that will just sort of give the catalyst to the metals, especially silver, to keep going. So that's nice. GDXJ, also gap fill possibilities across the board, but GDXJ nice and strong, stronger than GDX, makes sense because of that silver component. Let's have that little, we've already closed above 70. But yeah, let's close above here and whatever that level was, 74, doesn't matter anymore. Up we go. So the miners look strong. SILJ, which has been weak for ages, but recently strong, strong. Another one that sort of ignored the what looked inevitable gap fill. Just a small, that's nice. That's like a fake, uh, sort of a fake signal that we're gonna close the gap to me actually. And yeah, up we go. Another move up today would be sweet. Some nice closes on the miners, which would indicate further upside, and silver could keep going. So silver could keep going. If we hit that sort of 37.5 I was talking about on silver, then the miners should be closing at new, 52-week highs and sort of crossing some important technical and psychological numbers. So continuation, kind of. I don't mind gold going down, just sideways while silver continues, because at one point you're gonna break, and the trend is your friend, and gold will probably break upside, and then we continue. I don't know. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm doing small trims across the board on my portfolio. Nothing special. Gold stocks, not exactly though, because they've come down. Now, Newmont came all the way back down to this ascending support. That's not something I bought. I'm heavy in the miners. Like I said, I'm looking for a bigger flush if I'm going to add to the gold miners. So this is just a shame. I've trimmed this area already, so whatever, but I'm not buying this until we come like back down an extra level. So Newmont for me, 49, I'd buy that. Gold is probably breaking lower for that, but no trend change if it does. So I'd be buying a level lower in the senior gold miners. There's Newmont. Obviously, if we go back up, it's still got a level to clear. Barrick is stronger than Newmont. There's your gap fill. I'm not buying Barrick unless it goes. Well, Barrick's quite strong now, but for it to go all the way back down, close this gap, you have a big drop in the miners or the metals or both. This would be hard to fathom a move to 18, but that'd be a super buy zone. Otherwise, up we go, and I've already sold. Like, I'm not selling Barrick like trim. I don't sell. I just trim very small, 2.5% to 5% max, because I'm in it for the long term. But I'd only be doing that if Barrick is like probably up here 2150. Maybe not actually. I'd probably just keep it until the next big level. Yeah, I'm looking for big levels up and down to buy or sell for the gold seniors. A Nico Eagle, same thing. I've already trimmed this 126 zone. A big move down to here, ascending, strong ascending support. That would coincide nicely with a gold drop, a big gold drop or a GDX drop or both. But I've already sold this, so I'd buy this. And honestly, my next sell, there is no level above 126.7. I don't know where I'd sell Nico next. I'd probably just base it on the GDX chart. A big level up in the GDX, I'd probably trim on Nico, and by then you're probably at 130 something. So just holding until a big level up or down in the seniors. Pan America, that's silver gold, but I consider it mainly silver, even though mine's mainly gold. My next trim will be 3050. This is worth more than any other stock in my portfolio. I love it. So that's why 3050, this little high over here, right? And after that, we'll see. But this is just going to go all the way up to this 38 level. Look at that. Look at that. One, two, three. You could even say four. And it would be the fifth time it hits that on a very long term. So that's a definite sell, but we're far from that. But if silver starts to crack and run past 40, that's where Pan America will be. That'll be a small trim, and by then it's probably worth like 30% more than what it's worth right now. Cannot wait. That's going to happen. Wheaton, that one came down quite a lot and it filled the gap, but I didn't buy because it was still worth what I call a heavy, heavy amount. So it wasn't worth, like, the value was just still very strong. If we have a big move down in gold and GDX, I don't know if it can come down to 80, but that is a super buy zone. If we go up, I don't know if I'll trim this 95. It's going to go to 100. I'm in no hurry to buy or sell Wheaton. It's just constantly amazing. There it came down more than some others, but no worry there. So just holding, basically just holding. Franco Nevada, that came down to not the real ascending support. I just added this extra one, but if we come back down to sort of 155, I'd buy that. Again, that requires a big move down in gold and GDX. If we go back up, I don't know if I'm going to trim 179. I think I've trimmed like 177, 178. Yeah, 178 probably. Hold, no hurry. Another senior. Metalla, another royalty. This one has just been green. Like, I hate this one. But it's finally done the move I thought it was supposed to do ages ago, and it's really caught up relative to others recently. So just up, up, up with silver. I don't know if it's a royalty stock. It's kind of moved with silver more than anything else. But that's definitely sort of that's put a bit of a smile on my face because I've really been disappointed for a long time. So this is beautiful. I was trimming where you see the yellow, so I trimmed this breakout, trimmed this. There's small trims, like I say. Next one, you know what? I know where the next one is. I actually put it at 399. I think this is a level, but that's my sell is actually here in the middle of both. Don't ask me why. I just thought it could break through this. If it's going to keep doing its mini squeeze, it's probably going to hit four. So 399 is my sell. I'll leave this here because I see this more of a level, but that's pretty cool. Finally, Metalla. And once we clear this four zone, and if I extend this, you can see how relevant it is, prior support there. Then we can start to go to no man's land. It hasn't been there in a long time. So that's really cool, actually, Metalla. But it's still one of my lightest holdings because it wasn't worth much down here. I was never adding to it. I was adding to others, and I've trimmed on the way. Not much, but still, it's kept it still light. But it's good to see, finally. All right, next I'm doing the gold stocks. So I am gold, the mid-tier gold stocks. This has been okay. I mean, gold keeps going back up. This will hit new highs. So here's a level. I'm not selling that. I think my next set is, 839 or 838 or something. But those are the levels I see. Makes sense. Recent sort of high, 780. And this is the old 52-week high. If gold goes down, we're probably going to get a gap fill. And then if it keeps going lower, this little ascending, I don't see it going down there. So these yellow circles really cover what I feel. I think I was supposed to cover up Aris Mining, so I'll do that now. Aris Mining, that came down, hit ascending support. I didn't buy it because it's worth it's got to go lower. Actually, it's worth not that much. A bit like Metallo, a bit more than Metallo, but because it's just gone up so much, So this chart's crazy. It just look at this, how steep this ascent is. I mean, they've all got this chart, but Aris Mining is worse or better. It's just steep, 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 and I'm not willing to buy that, even though it should be support, and it was yesterday. You can see that. If we go back up, I don't know if I'm going to trim this zone because I already have. I sold this 699. I should have bought whatever. Again, if gold and the GDX, remember that chart, if they flush a level, Aris could come back down to sort of 560. That I'll probably buy because it's a big drop. It's a great stock. It wants to go higher and it's just forced to go down because of the sector. If we go back up, I'm just going to leave it and I have no idea where to sell this, even though there is chart data going back. It's just hard to call. It's a bit of a crazy chart, and I think it could really squeeze because of that, maybe even $10. So I'm just holding this for now. It's got to go a level lower to buy and several levels higher for me to consider selling. Equinox, that's okay, makes sense. Hit its old high, came down with a sector to next support, which is where we are. If we go back up, I don't know, nah, I don't know, I'll think about it. But for me, 740 is a level, so if you do want to trim that, 739. If we go lower, there you've got your little gap zone. It could go lower. All the yellow circles cover where I think levels are. B2 gold kind of holding near the high, stronger than some of the others. 350 was its real level to break out of. It did that. Now it's 380. It's pretty close to doing that already. So any move up in gold and this thing could start hitting, yeah, go straight past four. Four is not a level. I don't see anything here indicating a level. I see this sort of 430 and 440. That's probably, yeah, that's where I'll trim small little nibbles on the way out, and then hold the rest on the way up. And by the way, if after selling these two levels, it's going to be worth still more than what it's worth now. That's the kind of small nibbles I'm doing. So it's kind of guaranteed psychological hedge. If we go down, 350 will be support. And if we go lower, then yeah, this ascending 320, that's going to take a big move down. But that's where I'd buy. I like it though. I'm not really in a hurry to buy the gold stocks. But the silver stocks, which I'll get to after SPSW, there I'm slightly differently arranged mentally. Now, SPSW, crazy candles. Look at this. Look how bearish that is. Next day up. Look at this. This is bearish candle too. Shooting star, whatever they call it. Now, I sold 699, right? I told you that's my next level. Can't believe we got there. That's all these other commodities going up. The platinum, palladiums and all that. But gold, silver also helps. Sold that. If we go back down, I have no idea. I mean, this would probably be a level two now, sort of 640 gap fill. I wouldn't buy that. I'm just doing that for show. It's six. I have no idea. I'd have to see what's going on. That would have to be the dollar going up surprisingly, and or maybe just some, I don't know, SBSW. I don't have buys. I just don't know where I'd buy. But wow, what a move this one's been. This has been better than some silver stocks. From down this 320 zone, it's over 100%. It's now on the way up, which is actually more likely despite the look of those candles. My next sell is going to be this 770. I think I put 777 or something. Might be off by 1 cent. I'll have to correct that. But this is just, and then 10. I mean, zoom out. That's what we've done, which is quite a lot actually. That's quite an ascent, but it can keep going. Look what it did in the past. That's just, from 3 to 20. And that's the kind of move you do when you're going to make that move again. But yeah, I'd just be doing small sells on the way out, just little 2.5, 5%, boom, boom, boom. I can do that to infinity and it'll be worth a lot up here, and I would have made a lot also. So it's amazing. What it's done is I know it's capable of this, but that's still pretty impressive. All right, silver stocks. First Majestic. Now, silver was up yesterday and First Majestic was red. That's not ideal. It can be excused because it's done a nice move. Okay, you've just seen SPSW, so not that impressive, but that's still pretty good. This is a level, right? This 840 is a level. It's been a level. It's like 52-week high kind of thing. We've hit it, three candles. It's resistance. If silver keeps going up, it will keep going up. I'm sorry, yesterday was a one-off, I think. If we come back down, this is your support zone number one, 780. Then you got your gap fill, 730. Then it's not as obvious technically, but I don't even think we'll get this low. What a buy it will be. We're not going back down to five to mid fives. If we do, there's something, maybe silver's retraced all the way down to 35, but even there, you probably expect it. I don't expect to go down there. But that yesterday was a little annoying because I would have expected continuation. But across the board, all the silver stocks were a bit weak yesterday relative to silver. But the next level's on the way up, 9 and 980, right? And then after that, we're going to that 14. I remember 14 from years ago. That we're getting to that. 2022, that wasn't that long ago. But that is definitely a level. And we've just got to confirm the breakout of this zone. This sort of 8 foot, we've got to hit that nine handle. Nine, especially 10, and close above 10 would just sort of double figures mentally. That, yeah, a squeeze in silver to the 40s and you get to 14. I don't care what yesterday's candle was like. So a little disappointing, but nothing changes in my mind. Will I sell at nine? I think the smallest sells, I'm always doing the smallest sells in silver. I think that this could really get to 14 quickly. So I don't want to look back and think, oh, why was I selling so much? I understand why I'm selling because I'm addicted to trimming levels, but I'm making these sells tiny. Like normally it's 2.5 to 5%. Now it's like one. It's just symbolic selling. For tuna, I think that one had bad news yesterday. So yeah, this one's almost come back down here. If we have a red day in silver, it could come back down quite a bit. Like even this six zone. Like here, I should make this, you know what, I'm gonna make it a bit of a bigger one. I just feel like it might not go all the way to the ascending, so maybe $6. But that's more possible than other stocks. So watch out for a drop beyond this six sort of 75-ish zone. But six is a massive buy. Now on the way up, if silver squeezes, I've got this as a sure level, $8. Psychological also, you can see from back then, it was a bit of a level on a few occasions, especially the most recent occasion, which is why it's more significant. After that, this is probably level, let's be honest, 850, and then straight to sort of, pre-10. But Fortuna is pretty high compared to other stocks where, like First Majestic, where they've been relative to the past. So not in a hurry too much to add this to Fortuna. Also with the bad news yesterday, was it insider selling or something? All right, Coeur d'Alene. This one has just squeezed before the others. A bit tired. You can see resistance, probably 960 is more a resistance. This gap fill any red day today, and we fill that gap. But we've got this descending retest. That's significant that we broke out of it. Retesting it should be support. So that's why I'm leaving this one in. If we have some mighty flush for whatever reason, then I've got this 8 and especially 750. So all these yellow, whatever you call it, squiggles, they indicate the levels, except the descending. That's probably the more important one that I haven't put, but I know that by heart. Otherwise, if we start to run up, which could be done, and we start to, breach this 970 zone, next stop is here, 11. I don't have 10 because it's just, for me, not a level. I don't even have 1050. I got 11. So this would be a 10, probably 1089 to make sure of it or something. But yeah, 11's a level, and then 1250. And Jesus, this could really squeeze. I absolutely love this stock. But yeah, another one that's tired. After that, we have Heckler. This one, also a bit like Fortuna, hit resistance a while ago, 3 days ago. Not the best candle. And then followed by two reds here. It back tested. Support is support. Again, support is support. So 620 is definitely support. But look where we closed. Any red day, and we got Heckler back down to 580. And any extra red day, because gold is flushing and it takes silver down, and silver's retesting 35, whatever, you could get Heckler down to 520, which is absurd and a massive buy. Also a bit of a gap there. So 520 is a huge level, and I can't believe I'm talking about that. It's a bit disrespectful. But yeah, those two candles not the best. 580 is actually definitely possible. I move back up. You got to take out 690. That's probably a small sell for me if I think about that. And then you got this sort of 65-ish zone, and then you break out. But not the best heckler compared to the others. EXK, however, beautiful stuff. This one I expected to do this kind of a move before, like CDE star, because this is very sensitive to silver. In fact, all the silver stocks I cover are, because that's why I'm in them. But this one, nice. Took this descending line I only introduced recently. I can't believe I missed it. Hit that. I mean, look at that. It hit it, and I didn't have the descending at the time. Then it filled the gap, and then yesterday just bam, next level. So technically, this one's really adhering to technicals. Like, hits the descending on this day here, this Thursday, fills the gap and bounces nicely on Friday, closing next to that Thursday. And then bam, yesterday, that Monday just squeezes past the descending. I could even remove it now. Thanks for your job. Hits this 510-ish zone. And look at that, it's like 11, 1.15% move. Another move up, and we're at 565-ish. That's your next level. And then we're taking out the 52-week high. And to be honest, it's not going to be this level. It's too close. It's going to be maybe this level, $6, nice and psychological. And then boom, boom, boom. I haven't even looked at these, but that's probably correct too. So EXK, beautiful. Continuation possible. Support is going to be 420. I can't see that happening after yesterday's big move on good news. So yeah, I nibbled out of this one. I think it was 499 my sell. Small trim. Next level, I probably got 559 as a sell, knowing how I am. Finally, Mag Silver. Beautiful. I didn't even pay attention to that actually. New high. Um, I probably sold that yesterday. What's this from? Yeah, I probably did. 21.49 probably. Next stop up here, 23.99 is probably my sell. 89, 23.89. If we go down, then probably the gap fill, and then back here, this is your breakout 19, and I can't imagine going down there. So some of the stocks are a bit different, some of them are stronger. You got your EXKs, your MAGs, um, but some of them are a bit weaker, right? So your, I don't want to say CDE, but your Fortunas. But that's a bit of a shame because silver's been so strong. But you can understand they've had a bit of a run, and it could be like a false breakdown, and then it just continues. But the squeeze is here to stay. This is not a squeeze in silver, and it is a squeeze. I hate to use that word, but it's not a squeeze that lasts, 2 weeks, comes back down, and the party's over, and you've all been had. This is different because of gold, because of the other commodities confirming it, because of the miners confirming it. I do think 3750 is a bit of a resistance, and who knows, maybe we've already hit it just before 37. If we go back down to 35, it's not the party's over. It's a healthy retrace. Add to the best silver stocks. Heckler could be real cheap. That's what I'm going to do anyway. I'm going to add to the silver stocks, make them heavy, and then if we take off again, huge profits. And my portfolio's at new all-time highs every day. But I'm keep trimming. I want to see that sidelines cash keep adding so that if we do have a drop, I can only be happy. So anyway, that's a quick recap. I'm absolutely loving it. I can't stop looking at my screen. And that's the sign of a bull market and lots of profits. So, but let's not get too arrogant, huh? Good luck.